Hello and welcome to Pitstop. I'm Jaco van der Merwe. I'm joined by Mark Jones and Charles Bosch. This week we are talking bakkies, why not? Quite an unfamiliar bakkie name, Shark. Is that right, Shark?
Yeah, that's...
BYD Shark.
Yeah, what a name. Of everything they could have choose.
Just again, Charles, what does BYD stand for?
Build your dreams.
Build your dream Shark.
Yes.
Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, BYD is the world's largest producer of electric vehicles.
New energy vehicles, correct.
Ahead of Tesla.
That's it.
But Tesla's all electric.
Yes, Tesla's all electric. BYD is electric and plug-in hybrid, or new energy vehicles as they call them.
Okay, so Shark fits in with a little... Mark, you went on a little thing the other day where you drove the Seal.
Yeah.
So we're in an ocean. Shall talk about the ocean little marine...
That's what they call it, their ocean range of products. So we've got the Shark, we've got the Seal, then we've got the Sea Lion, and then we've got the Seagull. Which is a tiny little thing. The seagull, but it's also called the Dolphin Mini in certain countries.
But a seagull flies.
Well, this one is a wing detached. Yes,
a swimming seagull.
Yes.
Yeah. But that would have been a fantastic name for a drone, wouldn't it?
It probably would have been, but they thought, no, let's call it a car. And then the last one is called the Seal U, which is another SUV. So all of those vehicles.
And they do call it the ocean range?
They do call it the ocean range of products, yes.
Okay, but let's stick to the bakkie. Mark, this thing is going to be a plug-in hybrid, they say. And just purely on sprint time, they say 0 to 100 in 5.7 seconds. Now, you've been testing bakkies for a long time. Tell us why that is very significant for a bakkie.
Well, I think straight off the bat, that's very fast.
That is quite fast.
I mean, when I started testing bakkies, and that's a long time ago, it was sort of right next to Jan van Riebeck's Oxwagon. Sub 20 was a good start. Then heading towards 15s was pretty sharp. And as you know now, 12s, 13s is not a bad number. Mm-mm. And slowly but surely they've come under 10s. It's the big boy of the performance range. It's the Raptor, Ford Ranger Raptor. I mean...
So speaking of that, top of the charts, now as we have it, that is testing up here, not at the coast or anything, is a Raptor at 6.9.
Yeah.
0.90.
Yeah. And then I know people say, drag race terms, they don't race bakkies, rubbish. I mean, every traffic light, every guy races a bakkie. And if you go on social media, you'll see these Maddox in the farms, they got these long strips of dust and next to the road, they drag everything and anything. So 6.9 to 5.7 is huge. It's a hiding, for a choice of better words, if they get there.
Yeah, 5.7, we can say if they get there, but they have a full second, more than a second to play with to still beat the Raptor, which is,
Well, what's going to do it is electricity.
Yes.
Anything that has electricity added to it jumps hard. The P500, just the other day, it's all about that instant torque, instant urge. That's going to give it the edge, I believe. It's when that battery starts to deplete.
Yeah, then it's
5.7 could become 9.7 because then it relies on its internal combustion engine, and that's a
1.5 petrol turbo.
The Chinese staple, 1.5 turbo.
It's done that for tax reasons in China with 1.5 and specifically 2 liters. So basically what they do is take those two engines, 1.5 with or without turbocharging and 2 liter with turbocharging, and then throw everything at it, whether it's a single electric motor or 2 electric motors. That's it.
We know generally most of the Chinese manufacturers, or maybe all of them, manages to get cars here rather affordable compared to like for like in other brands. But plug-in hybrids is taxed extra.
Yes.
It's all those extra added taxes, almost like an EV. So bringing that thing in, is it possible to bring it in under R1 million?
It will probably, I think that it'll probably happen because let's not forget, there's also a plug-in hybrid version of the Ford Ranger, which is built locally, but is not being sold in South Africa at all. Well, for the moment, it's not being sold basically because it's going to be too expensive. It is going to be sold in other countries, specifically Australia, but the problem also there, if I could just give you a comparison, Australia sources their vehicles from Thailand, and I can't remember now what the term is called, but they don't pay any tax on those vehicles in Australia. Some free trade agreement that they have. Whereas in South Africa, because it's going to be made here exclusively for the world, they expected, because of the extra cost, that Ranger will cost around about $100,000 in Australia, which is going to be more than a Raptor. And it's the same going to be here with BYD. That is going to be undercut the Ranger, but it's going to be tricky if they're going to get it under $1 million, because the Ranger will probably be more than $1 million if it gets sold.
Well, yeah, what we have seen, I mean, the Chinese companies are state subsidized.
Yes, it's true.
So, like with the Seal 7, where they played this whole game, hey, it should be 1.5 million, 1.2, and they sort of got this pricing down. I think if ever they're going to do something special here, forget how it's going to price. I agree it's important in the real world, but in South Africa, they're going to have to be sub 1 million.
Yeah.
Be subsidized heavily. And I know they were saying, the guys from BWD were saying that they're trying to continue to engage with government, because being the world's biggest new energy vehicle manufacturer, if they're going to tackle a market with only that product, it's in their interest to negotiate. I think the way the facial expressions were and the rope hanging from the ceiling and the guy's neck around it, they really are struggling with government.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're going to be subsidized. If they're going to make a splash, if they can bring that thing in 800, 900 grand, I think it'll make a bit of a wow. P500 sitting at $1 million is, it's not easy to pay that for a bakkie that's a little bit unknown.
Completely, and I mean, it's got more power than a P500. So if they undercut that, it's 320 kilowatts versus 255, and the torque is more. Yeah. So if you do the 690 newton meters compared to 648, so if you get that and you undercut that, the P500, it's going to be quite something incredible.
Yeah, I'll bet you guys a cold beer that they're going to bring it in definitely better than P500, because I think they're watching that, and it'll definitely be sub 100, sub 1 million, and it'll let the games begin. I mean, the bakkies keep coming.
Yep.
Just on a practical side, Shoal range, plug-in hybrids are not renowned for their full electric range.
No.
In a sense, obviously, it's a much smaller battery and all of that. It's designed, let's say, per se, for inner city. Let's say the electric part of it, let's say it's a range of 40, 50, 60, 70, thereabout, which is about ballpark figure. You get to work and back to home on your electric range, you charge it, never even needing the rest. If the bakkie's going to come with something like that, look at South Africa, many farmers and many rural communities where bakkies are big. When a guy's going to be buying that to do his farming, he doesn't have a plug in the middle of his millie field to charge that thing. So if he's going to rely then on a 1.5 litre engine, old Frikkie there in the Free State isn't going to like this affair. Right?
No, he's not going to. So the P500 is a self-charging hybrid. The Ranger, if we can use a comparison, that's got a 2.3 litre EcoBoost petrol engine with a battery. That's got a claimed range. Ford hasn't officially given it the range. That's got 45 k's of range. The Shark has 100 claimed range, which in a way makes kind of a bit of sense if you're driving 100 k's on the battery alone, and it's got a combined claim range of 840 kilometers using both the battery and
Let's just talk real world.
But
let's say that 100 is 70.
Yes.
For real world figures. 65 full blown aircon, whatever.
It's going to be a tricky sell for somebody who wants to have a plug-in wants to have a bakkie with that small range, because as you said, it's more for intercity driving and so on. There is brake regeneration, but it's for if you're going for that market, some of them are not stupid with the full-on range of 320 kilowatts. They look at the general amount of power, and it's 170 kilowatts if I'm talking correctly of the petrol engine, which is a lot from a petrol engine, and the battery adds 150, but it's going to be a tough sell if you're going that way.
Yes.
Well, yeah. The thing with, I just had the Lexus the other day, and as we know, people think the sales of electric cars have crashed. It's not. It's just the rate at which they're growing has declined from astronomical numbers to more realistic numbers. But the big uptake is in these hybrids. And I think the biggest thing to get over, especially the more rural you go, you're not going to tell a guy who farms millies and stuff for the last 100 generations that about these cars that must still be plugged in. So hybrid, actual, where the cars charge themselves and you don't plug in, they kind of taking off because the guy doesn't have to think about it, and he gets the fuel range. For me, the biggest problem, kind of middle of the road feeling was, when I plug my electric car in and I leave it, I know I'm getting electric and I know how much range. Unless you will have a wall box at your house and you're kind of conditioned really to plug it in every night, you kind of go, I've got to plug this thing in for 50 Ks. You start to actually, it becomes a chore if you want to think about it for 50 Ks. And each day, if you're driving to work and back, you're depleting the battery. So you have to charge it. So, it's great technology. It's moving forward. The plug-in hybrid thing is still a bit weird for me because it's not quite fully electric, not quite hybrid or petrol, but you still got to plug it in. And some people have a bit of an issue with that, so much so that some of the future technology stuff we've been exposed to overseas was guys want to have pads on the floor and they're like inductive charging on your phone. They don't want plugs. They think it's your wife comes, take this big plug and try and stick it in. And there you go. They just want to put it on a pad and they don't want to know that they're charging the car.
No, there's another reason why Toyota has, for example, gone with hybrid first. The hybrid, it's mild hybrid technology. But there's a reason for that. Is people don't, as you said, they don't want to waste time, if I can put it that way, to plug stuff in. So it's fine if it's for, and I know this is an old adage to say, but it's fine for a country like Europe and China, electric and plug-in. For South Africa, to some extent, if you don't want to go petrol or diesel full on, a hybrid, a self-charging hybrid remains the better option.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all from us this week. And of course, just keep your eyes open when that BYD Shark comes around, because we will for sure be taking that to Gerotech, pull out the timesheets, and going to be some hype around it for sure. That's all from us this week. I'm Jaco van der Merwe. Mark Jones, Charles Bosch, and if you like this podcast, go and like it. You can share it, or even better, follow our channel and keep up to date every week of the latest motoring news. Cheers.